Hi guys! Welcome to Matt Bayeski YouTube channel. Oh, look how beautiful it is outside. Can you see that? You know, one of the most beautiful things you can do when you're feeling stressed is to find yourself in some kind of Mother Nature and just watch the trees sway from side to side with the love and the compassion within your heart, and just flow with it. Release everything as you're looking at, like now, as I'm just looking at the palm trees, I'm just watching them move. And then I look at the big taller trees and just watch them sway from side to side. It's surprising how, when your eyes capture such beauty of Mother Nature and how it moves, how healing that is, because we tend to be racing. We're all racing. Our minds are racing with the rage and the anger and the frustrations of life. So when you find yourself somewhere like here, if you ever come to the Pure Energy Healing Academy and you come to train for 4 days, you really understand the difference between outside there and inside here, the real reason for living and what life is truly about. Imagine if every school brought children into a place like this for 4 days of their life to learn how to heal one another. Their whole life would change the way they see things. But then again, if you bring them back into the system that is, it would probably really mess them up. So you have to be careful with giving somebody spirituality, with teaching them how to believe in themselves and listen to their own heart and trust in themselves, because the system at school basically wants you to memorize. That's it, nothing else, just memorize. So it would be a challenge that way. So maybe one day we could slowly introduce spirituality. And when I talk about spirituality, a lot of you will be thinking that I'm, some sort of somebody who bows down to gurus because I wear tops of Buddha and all of the other gods, the Krishnas and the all the rest of them on my wall. But no, spirituality just means finding your inner self, your inner power, your inner peace, and finding your inner happiness. That's what spirituality means to me. A lot of people take the word spirituality and sabotage it and hijack it and attack it and use it for self-means and greed and ego. But spirituality just means our spirit, our truth, our love, our power, our happiness, our everything. It really is kind of something that I look at from day to day. So what's today's subject? I tell you, through a day these days when I'm out looking at, observing life and how people act and how they behave, it's really interesting. Did I ever tell you the story about the rose? It's one of my favorite stories because it made me realize what life was and how every time I was attacked, I spent hours and weeks and months trying to understand why me, why me, why me. And the story of the rose, and I have another story about walking along the street, looking down at my phone, bumping into everybody. They're my two favourite stories. Do you want me to tell you the story about the rose? It's a really beautiful story, and really think about it as I'm speaking about this story. One day there was a beautiful rose growing from the ground, beautiful in all shape and form. The colour of the rose was a very, very potent and powerful red and smelt divine. 4 people came to that rose, and each of them had an experience. The first person was a lady round about 30 or 40 years old. And she bent down and she smelt the rose and burst into tears, cried so hard. When asked, she recalled the time when she was given such a rose by somebody who loved her very much and then passed into the light. The next person went to the rose and looked at the rose and huffed and puffed and stepped back. When asked why did you huff and puff at the rose? This person said, because I remember giving this rose to somebody that I cared for and they left me. Bloody roses, they said. The third person went up to the rose and started laughing and giggling and touched the rose and smelt it. It was amazing. When asked, why did you touch the rose and smell the rose? They said, I encountered them many, many times that I was in Mother Nature. And as a child, I saw many roses in my garden and spent many hours smelling the healing presence of this rose. The third person was a young man. And as he walked up to the rose, he stood on the rose. He stamped on it with all his might and stood back. And when asked, why did you just kill that rose? He says, because it was that rose that caused me the issue and the pain. I once gave that rose to somebody that I loved and they cheated on me and they took all my money. Now take the moral of the story. You are that rose. You are a beautiful rose. There is no difference to anything that comes your way. You are still that rose. You haven't changed. You are still beautiful in all shape and form. But the moral of the story is that every other person saw you as a different light, whether good, whether sad, whether joyful, or whether hurtful and deceitful and angry. You're still that rose. So the moral of the story is, it isn't the rose, it isn't you, it is the other people's issues and problems that cause the issues, not you. You are beautiful in all shape and form. And that story really touches me when I think about that. When anybody hugs me, when anybody cries around me, when anybody is angry and bitter and jealous, that story always comes to me. It's a reminder that I have done nothing wrong, that I am merely a mirror of what their pain and suffering or happiness is. So how do we become happy? How do we find our happiness? Well, through these years that I've been working, I've noticed a strong pattern of how people become more balanced in life. And it isn't just one thing. It isn't a simple, oh my God, now I understand. It is a work in motion, but there are certain practices we can do to find our happiness, and through finding our happiness, our purpose arises and shows itself. Eat well, choose your friends wisely, and always, always put yourself first. Look after yourself. Listen to your inner heart. Trust your path and your journey. And know that whatever step you take is always in the right direction. Thank you for subscribing to Mark Bajerski YouTube channel. From my heart to yours. It's time for me to do some work now with the crystals and the website. We're working very hard today. I just wanted to pop in and say hello to you guys and take care. And from my heart to yours, there's a lovely little crystal here that I want to gift somebody today. It's a Herkimer and Moldavite. So I'll choose somebody when you say something, whatever you want to say. I'll just go through and have a look and then choose somebody today. Seems appropriate again. And it's a lovely little crystal. I've been wearing it for a long time now, so it's fully charged. Okay, guys, have a great day. Thank you for subscribing once again to markbajerski.com. Thank you for buying your crystals at markbajerski.com. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And they are all on their way with love. Have a great day, guys. Cheers. Take care.